Good afternoon, everybody. Today is November 9th, and it is our second session for our cooking class for the One Pot Wonder. And today is our sixth class. This will be the end of our session 2 today. And if you're wondering why the atmosphere is a little different, I'm doing this preparation and cooking from home today. We had a huge snowstorm out there, and everybody's just staying home, staying warm. And so Kayla Ray and I are doing we're doing a meat loaf today, and we are also doing scalloped potatoes with a vegetable. And yeah, I hope you guys are going to like it. And I want to give a great big thank you to our sponsors who have been working right alongside with us to support us financially and to ensure that we have our food each week. And that's to the co-op for helping us each week, and to the Lethbridge Foundation that are in great support of us. So we thank everybody in the community. We're very grateful to have the church for the Pinch Creek Community Church, which is the Old Baptist Church. They continue to let us use their kitchen, but as I said, today we're just working from home. We're going to do some prep and get things ready for you guys, and stay tuned. Okay, so we've done a little bit of prep we're going to start with our scalloped potatoes. And so I've peeled the potatoes, and then I've just kind of made them into like little dollars so that they're, you don't want them too thick. I would say the maximum would be about that thick, which is like minute. So you're going to cut up your potatoes and then put them into a pan or a pot. Now, if you are wanting to do this stovetop, you can make scalloped potatoes by doing it on top of your stove. It's just a little bit different of a process. And the suggestion that my mom always tells me is to put your scalloped potatoes into your pot. You add some milk to it. You're gonna basically cook your potatoes in milk and butter and some salt and pepper. And so it's not like you're gonna have like a soup of potatoes. You're just gonna put in enough to kind of just cover the top of your potato. And you're just gonna cook it on the stove. You can use it like medium to kind of between medium and high, and let it boil, and just keep continuously stirring it. So you're gonna put about a tablespoon of butter and salt and pepper to taste. And then at the end, once your potatoes are cooked, you could also add some onions in it as well if you choose to. You could add your soup mix. Some people like the cheddar soup mix, or we're going to use cream of mushroom soup today for it. But so you can add your flavor of what you want for your potato on the stove or in your pan for the oven. So once your potato is cooked on the stovetop, then you want to take a little bit of a flour base with a little bit of milk and mix it up so that it's not lumpy. And then you're going to add that to your potato so it gives you the thickener. If you're going to do it in the stove though, or in the oven, I mean, you don't need the flour mix at all. So that's the only real difference is that on stovetop, you're going to add a little bit of a flour base with the milk and just stir it up, like I said. But in the oven, you don't need to add that, okay? So let's get started on that. And we're going to first add our cream of mushroom soup into the potatoes. And we're going to do an oven bake, which will take approximately, you're going to need about a good hour, an hour and a little bit for both your meatloaf and your scalloped potatoes. So we're going to just mix up the cream of mushroom soup into these potatoes, and then we're going to add I don't have my measuring, so sorry. So we're just gonna put, I've used 4 potatoes, slice them. So to that amount in this size of a dish, you're gonna use about 1/4 cup, a little bit more of milk added to it. So I'm just using my judgment at the moment. So if you plan on just about 1/4 cup, that would work perfect. And then you're just gonna stir this together. Some people like to add some onions into this mixture as well with the cream of mushroom soup. I'm not adding the onions in today because some kids don't like that either. So, and some adults don't. So we're gonna add some salt and pepper. If I can get this off. And we'll just add enough in here to just give it a little extra flavor. And we'll add a little bit of salt. And then we're gonna take, we're gonna take, I need to open this butter. We're gonna take about 2 tablespoons of butter. And we're gonna add that into our potato. So this is plenty for what you're gonna need, depending on the size, of course. So I'm just gonna break this up into 4 squares and add this in to, whoops. We're just gonna add this into the potatoes and give that a bit of a stir as well so that it's throughout. And it, of course, will melt in there. And that is your scalloped potatoes. And like I said, you're gonna need at least an hour in the oven. But you can monitor it. Once they start to brown, you can kind of put your fork through it if it goes through the potato. But you'll notice as they're cooking. But definitely keep an eye on them. So we're just gonna set that aside for a sec, and we're gonna move on to our meat. All right, so I washed my hands, and I'm stressing that because I'm gonna be using my hands to mix the hamburger, and it's the reason I like to do that is just that it helps to mix everything together better. You can use a spoon or whatever you have to do so, but so I'm going to try to get this egg open or not, and we're going to add 2 eggs to this, and we're going to add, I'm just going to put all of the ingredients in together, and then we can mix it up together. So the garlic is to taste. Now I think you guys should all have garlic left over from our last class. So I would put about a 1/2 teaspoon. You can put more to your liking, but with the onion soup mix, I don't like to overpower it with the garlic because then it has a totally different taste. So we're gonna put 1 pouch, and you'll be receiving 2 pounds of hamburger. And that's what I'm using today is 2 pounds. And so you use 1 pouch of the onion soup mix and add that in together. You do not need salt because the onion soup mix has its own salt. So I really recommend not adding extra salt. If you want to, wait till it's cooked and then once you've got it on your plate, then add your own salt. Because it would be very overpowering if you're adding it in all of the meat. So we're gonna take some crackers and just crush them up. Now the crackers help to keep the formation of the meatloaf. So it's with the eggs and the crackers, it just kind of absorbs. So I would take about, I'm using, I've got about 10 crackers here, and that's gonna be plenty. So with that, now that's all that you need in your meatloaf. You can add other things if you like you could add Worcestershire sauce, You could add some barbecue sauce. You know, you could kind of do a variation. I'm sure that maybe some of you have heard about using ketchup. You can. Where you would use the ketchup or even the barbecue sauce is once you have it ready in your pan, then you can kind of put it on the top of your meatloaf before you put it in the oven. That's just kind of a extra little pretty for it, I guess. But you don't have to have it. In this case, we're just gonna actually just cook the meat with the soup mix, and yeah, and it's kind of a personal preference of what you add on top. Sometimes they use also too, like sometimes my mom, she'll use brown sugar and ketchup with a little bit of mustard, and just mixes it up and then puts that on top as well. So I think we pretty much got this ready. So we're going to use this kind of a pan. You don't have to. You can have any kind of a pan that you have. And again, if you can't use your oven, you can do it on stovetop. It's a little more difficult, so you don't want it quite as thick. So it's almost like you're gonna fry your meat is what it'll end up being like. You can kind of put it into a smaller pan like what we have the potatoes in, this way, or you can just use a fry pan if you don't have an oven to use. So for today, we are going to use the oven, and we're just going to put this meat inside and cook this. Now, to cook your hamburger, it is going to take a minimum of a good hour. I would even say probably a little bit more than that, even maybe an hour and a half. But you will know because of the browning in your meat. And voila. So as I said, you could put some kind of a topping on it if you like. You can use barbecue sauce, like I said, or the ketchup, or I just like to kind of add, you can use a gravy even, and like once it's cut up, I like to just kind of drizzle a little bit of gravy, or you know, the kids used to like ketchup, or whatever it is that you like is personal preference and taste. So we're gonna pop these into the oven, and I've got the oven on at 375 for both the potatoes and for the meatloaf. I would recommend maybe putting your meatloaf in first, because it's going to take a little longer than your potato. And so we're going to get that going. And also too, to add to your vegetables or to your potato and your meat, we have peas today, and that's just on the stove top. It's very easy. It's boiled peas. And so then you can just add your butter and salt and pepper to taste. And yeah, so we're going to get this into the oven, and we'll stay tuned and we'll be back. Okay, so it's been about an hour and a half, and this is our creation. We have our meatloaf, and we have our scalloped potatoes with mushroom soup and some milk and butter, and just some peas with some salt and pepper and butter. And with that, I'm going to say bon appetit. I hope that you enjoy your meal today. And I'd also just like to say a great big thank you for our delivery people. They are coming in and assisting us, which is the Pagani Child and Family Services and staff. And I just want to say a great big thank you for all your help. We greatly appreciate it. And in that being said, I hope you all are warm and safe And you take care, and we'll see you soon.